Somewhere between these pages and old maps, I feel it, the pull of a world beyond my own. There's a part of me that misses getting lost. Comfort has made me slow, safe, but restless. I'm not searching for comfort. I'm searching for the feeling of being alive, a longing to leave the familiar behind, to chase the wild, the vast, the unknown. So I close the door behind me and open a new one. It all begins with a single line on a map, a dream drawn in the quiet of the night. Beyond the edge of the map, while the world falls silent, the Aino train carves its path through an ocean of sand. No mercy, only the endless horizon and the pulse of ancient earth. Here, under the burning sky, time dissolves into dust and silence. And in this unforgiving place, I will feel it the most. The feeling everyone craves. Freedom. Our trip starts with a connecting flight to Gran Canaria. In the 24-hour layover, we try to relax and get ready for the journey we're about to embark. After spending the afternoon at the beach and a good amount of sangria, we decided to head out of the city in order to look for a place to spend the night. On Google Maps, we found some caves we wanted to check out. The weather forecast indicated that rain was to be expected during the night, and as we didn't bring any rain covers, we needed something to hide under. After a 30-minute bus ride and 20-minute hike, we arrived and were really grateful for this amazing spot and fell asleep right away. Early the next day we arrived at the airport, and after having issues with the visas, we had to book another flight to Dakhla in Morocco, where we could stay until a Mauritanian visa would be accepted. We didn't expect that turn of events, and honestly, we were kind of scared when we first landed. But that changed right away when we got to our hotel, where we would spend the rest of the day. We jumped into the sea, relaxed in the pool, and tried to process what the fuck actually happened these past hours. After a long night's sleep, we strolled through the city in order to change money, buy food, and get other things we still needed. While doing so, we met a nice gentleman. His name was Mohammed, and he offered to show us the city and help us get everything. Although we didn't speak the same language, we were still able to communicate almost everything. We then went on to buy some turbans to not only look cool, but also to be protected against the unforgiving dust in the Sahara. Mohammed then kindly invited us to his home, where we met Josephine, his granddaughter, and the rest of his family. While eating lunch, we tried their homemade chili, and let me tell you, that food was delicious. We were touched by their hospitality and couldn't stop saying thank you. We talked a lot, especially with his son Karim, with whom we are still in contact to this day. After we explained to Mohammed how Schnapsen works, he took us to his fishing spot and told us stories about the history of Dakhla. How a few years ago fights were happening and gunshots were no rarity. Now everything is peaceful. He enjoys living there, together with his wife, kids and grandkids in one big house. It really taught us a lot, how much we actually need to appreciate the things we have back home. Especially one thing can be easily forgotten between all the stress at university and work. The most important thing is family. We got to enjoy a sunset together until we had to say our goodbyes. Early the next morning we got into the bus heading to the Mauritanian border. And after 5 hours of waiting there, we finally got into the country we had dreamed of visiting for months. We were excited and relieved, but on the other hand we were stressed. We had lost time, and in order to still reach the train we only had minutes. And that's when we met this legend.
Destination Mauritania today, inshallah. And tomorrow or today you guys take the train, the longest train in the world. Across the desert going 12 hours.
Yes.
Welcome my friends to Mauritania. Yalla, yalla, yalla.
Poussé dans les mauvaises herbes, fumer la bonne quand je suis zep. Brasse au nez du commissaire. Je livre en plus, c'est bien viscère. Je livre en plus, c'est bien viscère. J'ai la bobonne de puff, t'as une dégaine de keuf. Je déteste les imprévus. Quand tu pull up, ça crie plus. Quand je pull up, tu cries plus. J'ai une sacrée vue. Dans d'autres, t'as raclé un. Elle a une dégaine, elle s'appelait pute. J'ai la celle-là sous matelas. Là, on arrive prêt à faire un show.
Welcome to Mauritania.
And then this happened.
Pauli, was ist gerade passiert? We fucking made it.
Yalla!
We fucking made it.
Yalla!
Ja.
Ja. A feeling I have never felt before in my life. Adrenaline rushing through our veins, a sheer joy we couldn't communicate. While the first hype slowly faded, we realized what we were actually doing. The cold metal wagon, rumbling under our feet, connected to a train 3 kilometers long. The roaring sound, the wind blowing sand into our faces, the night sky. We put up our hammocks and woke up to one of the most epic sunrises I have ever seen. Words can't describe what I felt. You need to have done it to actually understand it. Everything feels like a dream. You stop worrying about your next exam, that one text you still need to write, or if that person has replied to you.
Don't try this at home.
You're present in the moment, soaking up everything. It truly is meditating.
Racing around, come up behind you again. Sun is the same in a relative way, but you're older. Shorter of breath, and one day closer to death.
And after about 9 hours on the train, we saw the city that was going to be our end destination appear on the horizon. It's called Shoum and marks about 2/3 of the total length of the Mauritanian iron ore train. When we arrived, it felt like we just traveled about 200 years back in time. Mud huts, people in oversized clothing covering them completely, staring at us while we hop off the train.
The time is gone, the song is over. Thought I had something more to say.
We got all of our things together and started walking to a hostel we had discovered on the map. Sadly, they weren't really prepared to take up tourists and rather tried to scam us into buying overpriced tea. At least we were able to get a quick overview of the city. So we left and searched for a place to hide from the sun for the next 12 hours until the next train was supposed to arrive. But instead we found some local kids. And with some, I don't mean 2 or 3. I also don't mean 5 or 6. Out of nowhere, 3 doors opened and about 100 kids started sprinting towards us, wanting to say hi and take a look at those weird white people in their city. It got so much that the shop owner nearby scared them away and invited us to his home to relax and drink the traditional Mauritanian tea. In return, we gave him a little concert. It was time for us to finally eat something. On the map there was a restaurant. In reality, it was just the house of a family living there. They still invited us in and shared the meal with us. We thankfully filled our stomachs and resupplied. And then it was time again.
It's 3:15.
Time again to hop on a train in pitch darkness. And well, I'll just roll the clips.
You know he ain't gonna
This time around it was different. We weren't that high on energy as the first time. We all just sat on the iron ore in the brutal sun, looking in the far distance, reminiscing our lives, searching for even a little bit of shade and rationing our water. Crazy to think how the temperatures dropped to about 10 degrees at night, and during midday it feels like you're being slowly cooked. It takes us 12 hours until we are back at our starting spot in Ouadhibou, where we decided to hop off the moving train. At this point of the trip, we hadn't had a plan for days. We just improvised, and with some luck, it has always worked out so far. With the train disappearing out of eyesight, it feels like this chapter is coming to an end. So we open the door to comfort again, and close the one to adventure behind us.
Welcome to Morocco.
Who's the fancy?